photographers and designers applying, and they'll submit proposals. You can actually see, and then you can say what you like, what you don't like, and you can get several submissions and edits on your preferences. So that's a really cool option. If you are very serious about your business, this is where you can get the sort of a top-notch logo for your business. So to summarize, now you know that if you're getting a profile picture, there's very cheap options where you can do it almost for free or very affordably. You can hire a photographer if you want the really best quality pictures, and the same for a logo. You can get it for free yourself, pay a little bit of money, or you can go all the way in and get something like 99 Designs. In the next lecture, you can follow along as I can actually create a brand new account from scratch.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably lean on you, Darius, for this one a little bit, but mine, from what I understand, is no, it's not as important. I mean, it's important because it's their first impression when they hit your page. So a good profile photo that's in line with what you're posting and your theme and it looks good means that more likely people are going to follow you, which allows you to snowball more as you get bigger and bigger and bigger. But it's not as important as you'd see in other social media things. Like in Instagram, your profile photo is pretty big because every time you comment or your captions, you have these thumbnail versions everywhere and everybody sees it. Whereas TikTok, it's, you see the video first and you have to go out of your way to click through to the comments to see it. It's just not as important. And I don't think you're getting a lot of what are called like direct follows, where someone sees an interaction you had and clicks it and then goes to your page and follows you. So the user behavior is just a little bit different. They don't use your profile photo as often, so it's less important. But in general, it's still worth spending time on it. It's still worth getting, like, if you're doing a personal account, get a nice photo, or put some thought into it. Try to think of a photo that matches the background of TikTok too. I mean, that's a big one as well. People want to see something that's clever. Look at like Gary Vee, like his TikTok thing. Like he's designed it knowing that he's going to be in this 50 pixel by 50 pixel circle, I guess depending on how big your screen is. So yeah, I mean, try to get clever with it. Just get something that's high resolution that matches your theme, but it's just not nearly as important as other platforms.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. Just because of the size, it's not as big as on Instagram or on other social media platforms. So just because of the size, it doesn't matter as much. It still forms an impression. So if somebody clicks through and you have a bad picture or they can't make out what it is, it's hard to see. It's not going to help you in that way. But I don't think that it's sort of a make or break deal in that case. Like, what really matters is the type of content you post. And we've seen accounts that grow really, really big that have bad pictures. Like that's totally possible and that's fine. It's not a requirement, but like anything else, it will form that first impression, will help. And if you have a good picture, then it just makes it a bit easier to give people a reason to sort of follow you. So you should have clean picture. If you are a business, then totally makes sense that you have your logo, and also knowing how tiny it is. So make sure it's very simple to use clear colors and it's very visible what's in the actual logo.
I generally suggest you just use your company logo because you're representing a company. So if you're a company and it's some random person's face, it doesn't really make sense. You're going to have that disconnect. It's basically going to hurt your conversion rate on your profile page. My general suggestion, though, is if you are a company, use what's called a symbol for your logo. So Nike, for instance, they have a swoosh, right? Well, their TikTok has a swoosh. It doesn't say Nike on it, mainly because that profile photo is so small that text is going to get rasterized and it's going to be hard to read, and it's very hard to make that look aesthetic. Now, if your logo doesn't have a symbol, you can use kind of what's called like logo type. So, let's say you're a company that's 2 full words. Well, you might have a variation of your logo where it's the first letter of each word. You can get away with that. Just the point is, don't stuff a bunch of letters in your profile photo. Do a symbol. That's the cleanest, best way of doing it because they'll figure out who you are based on your username and your name. But if you can't do that, then use logo type. That's generally my suggestion.
Yeah, just make it very, very simple and readable, and just know that people are not going to spend a lot of time looking at it, and it's going to be very small. So you have to be clever about what you show and how you show it. In this lecture, we're going to use everything we've learned so far. We're going to create a brand new account from scratch, and you can watch step by step and follow along. So I have my phone here, and I'm going to go ahead and click on sign up and create an account. So first I will ask you, how do you want to sign up? The easiest and most commonly used way is with using Facebook. I'll take some of the information from Facebook, like the profile picture and the name, for example. So there's some things that you can use, and it's easy, but I'll go ahead and choose the phone or email option. So first off, you want to select a birthday. So put in whatever it is, the actual birthday. I'll just put 1st of January, 1990. Then click next. It'll ask you for a phone or an email. I'll choose the email option and type in my email. I have to do a quick verification to confirm that I'm not a robot. And next up, you want to create a password. So the first thing it's going to ask us in the actual account is the username. So remember, the username is the unique identifier. So that's the one that's going to be listed right under your profile picture, and it'll say at whatever the username is. So it's going to suggest some names based on the information that you put in. As you can see, it suggested my first name and my last name, which is available, so it showed as available. But my last name is impossible to pronounce and remember for most people, so I don't use it very much. And specifically for personal branding, I would want to use it. So ideally, I would just want to start off with creating my first name, but that is not available, so I'm going to go ahead and shorten it. As you can see, it says this is not available. Now, there's a couple of other options that we discussed. For example, I could try putting I am. That is not available. I could say I am like this. It's also not available. So if you really wanted to have it, it's nice to have it short and simple. If this is possible for your name, that's great. I could maybe add I am Darius M. This one is available, but this doesn't look very good. It's confusing, and I think having letters before and after the name, it's not a good idea. Another thing I could use is use the niche in my name. So for example, I could put Darius Marketing if this was a marketing brand, and that is available. So that's one option. So Darius Marketing is available. That's fantastic. So that's one to keep in mind. And another option, maybe I could do Darius.Mora. So that's my last name, just sort of simplified. It's the Gary Vee strategy. His name is Vaynerchuk, but he just says Gary Vee. So maybe my last name Mora might be more memorable. Those are a couple of the options. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Darius.Marketing. I think that's the simplest, easiest option to describe the personal brand, and I'll click on sign up. So as you can see, it threw us directly into the home feed, but getting back to the profile, we only have the username, but we don't have any of the other settings. And as you can see, it just copied the name, which is at the top of the profile, as the username. So we know this is not the best way moving forward, so we're going to go ahead and click on edit profile. And here's all the elements that we talked about so far. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to change the actual name. I'm going to put in my first name and then last name. Since I already have the keyword marketing, I wanted to use my full name at the top. So over here, see, it says at Darius.Marketing. That's the username. And then on the top has a name, Darius Moravcik, which is my full name. I'll go ahead and click on edit profile again. And here you can also copy the, so it's slinktr.com/@Darius.Marketing. So this link will link directly to my profile, and I can share that with other people. The next step we have is the bio. So in the bio, as we said, you have 80 characters that you can use. So like we mentioned, there's 3 types of bios that you can do: a list bio, a one-to bio, and a hook bio. For this profile, I will choose a list bio. I think that's the easiest one. So I'll just go ahead and sort of type what would be a good option. I'll say startup, founder, and CMO, and I'll hit enter, and it'll go to the next page, and then I can say best selling Udemy instructor. Maybe I'll keep it with capital letters, founder. And then this sort of be my credentials, so people know when they land what they can expect. And then I could say something like daily marketing hacks. So now they know who I am and what they can expect from this account. Now to spice it up, like we talked about, I am going to include some emojis as well. So for the startup, founder, and CMO, let's see if I can find, maybe use a phone that's kind of like a technology startup-y symbol. So for the best-selling Udemy instructor, I'll just use a nerdy icon as the best thing that I could find so far. And as you can see, I got a notification that I got a 80-character limit. Now, something you could do, you could either remove some of the words if you wanted to add more emojis. I personally don't like the fact that I would only have emojis in the top 2, and the bottom doesn't have any emojis. But let's see if I save it, what it's going to look like. So go back to the profile. And yeah, I think to me it looks a little weird that I only have emojis on the first 2. So let's see if I can edit this and maybe remove some of the characters. So maybe instead of best selling, I could just say something like, I don't know, top Udemy instructor. It feels a little too salesy, but I'll just have it there. And then for the daily marketing hacks, actually what I can do here is maybe choose an arrow pointing downwards, so I'll get people's attention towards the videos. Because I think of it as when they're scanning the actual page, they start at the top looking at the image and your username, and then go down, read the bio, and then look at the actual images. So I could do an arrow like this, and maybe I could do an arrow over here that's pointing this way. Yeah, and I'll put a space over there and a space over there. So now it has the emojis, and I'm also pointing downwards with the arrows, sort of talking about what you can expect as daily marketing hacks. So I'm pretty happy with this for now. Might edit this later. Again, you can change any of this anytime. The only thing you can't change all the time is the username. The username you can only change once in 30 days. So I'll go back to the profile. And next up, we have the Instagram and YouTube links. So what you can do, if you click on the Instagram, it'll take you to your Instagram page. You could connect it, and then you'll be able to link directly to your profile, or you could add your YouTube profile. So again, you just click on the link and you will connect it depending on whatever platform you choose. Like I said before, right now I cannot add a other link, like to a website, for example. That's possible for all of the verified accounts, and they're testing it on some of the ordinary accounts, like this one as well. It might be in the future where we see links in the bio for everyone, but right now it's not the option. And the final thing is at the top is the profile picture and the video. So I'm going to choose the headshot that I spoke about earlier in the previous sections about profile pictures. So I'll go ahead and upload a photo, and I'm going to look at face. So it put up the picture. As you can see, it's a squared image, but I can move it around and I can place it where I want it, and I can also zoom in or zoom out so I can get it just right. I'm going to get a little closer. Since the icon is going to be very small, it's going to be much smaller than what we see over here on the screen. When it's in the feed, it'll be super tiny. So I'll just set it like this. Now my face is dominant in the middle. You can easily see it. The background is blurry. You can really tell that it's a profile picture very simply. So go back to the profile and we can see how it is all set up. If you click on edit, again, you can also add profile video over here, like I talked about, but I have not seen profile videos work very well on any big accounts, so we're not going to go ahead and choose that. But this is really it. Now the profile is ready, it's good to go. We have set up our account. It's got the picture, the name at the top, the username in the middle. I like the bio. And now we are ready to start posting videos. And one quick tip, what you can do here, you can go into the settings in the top right, and once you set up your profile, click on share profile. You can just get a link, and then you can share this link with your friends or your followers, or you can share it directly to Instagram and Facebook, for example. So it's good to share the link once you set up your account, and also ideally once you've posted a couple of videos. So actually when they land on a profile, it's not just empty, but they have a reason to follow you beyond just what it says in your bio. And also one thing to note, if we would have added a Instagram or YouTube link, it would appear as a button right next to where it says edit profile, and it has a little icon next to it. So that shows all of my favorites, and there's just where you can save your favorite songs and videos, etc. But the Instagram or YouTube connected icon would pop up just next over there. So when other users are looking at it, they can directly go to your other profiles. So to recap, now you know how to create a brand new profile from scratch. You also know how to choose a username that is unique and describes your industry or your niche. You know what to do with the name, how to choose a profile picture or a logo, and also how to write a killer bio. Congratulations. In the next lecture, we're going to conclude this entire section.
Yeah, so this is a question I got a lot in my Instagram course as well, and it's a good question. You know, if you're someone who just posted a bunch of TikTok videos that weren't very serious, or you didn't spend a lot of time doing it, but now you want to switch to, you have a theme in your head and you're going to really start hammering that theme, which is something, we suggest, like, what do you do with the old stuff? Now, on Instagram, my general suggestion was to get a new account, just to make a new account. And the reason why is because the people who followed you before, based on your old content, they're not going to be interested in your new stuff. So there's no actual benefit to continuing to post to these followers. But our advice on TikTok is just a little bit different. TikTok, people don't care as much about your historical posts. Like, no one really scrolls to the bottom to see what you used to post. So I think our advice is generally just you can just go through it, just keep posting and just switch your content. I don't think it's a big concern. I would just power through it. Change your profile if you want to, change your bio if you want to, and just go forth with your new thing. Because the TikTok algorithm is just such that it's not really built on what you've done in the past. It's on a video by video basis. People are still going to follow you even if they don't understand the old content, because no one really cares. The dynamic on TikTok is different.
Yeah, I think it's the algorithm on TikTok is so different to Instagram that your content is not just displayed to all the followers, but it's displayed a lot of times to new people, and it's covered through the viral effect of the videos. So it doesn't matter if you change it, because your content is still going to be displayed to new people, you get new followers, and like Evan was saying, the previous followers are not necessarily going to care, it's not necessarily going to matter. You have different content and you switch it up, so you have to worry about that. And also, the type of content you post and the hashtags that you use, it will be served to the right audience going forward, and there's some benefit in having all those previous followers. You do have some authority, you do have some attraction there, so that definitely helps to have some following already, and I think it's better than starting off completely from scratch. Congratulations on finishing your first main section of this course. You have learned so much, and you should be proud. You know what are the 3 main types of accounts. You know the type of content you can expect. Now you know what the app looks like, and you also know how to set up your account completely from scratch and what to focus on there. The unique username, the name in the actual top of the profile picture or the logo, depending on if you're a business, aggregate account, or a personal account. You also know how to write a bio. So much you've learned. Now you're ready to actually create your account. That is fantastic. In the next lecture, we're going to take a look at some pro tips, how to take your account to the next level, and right after that, we'll start posting our first videos.